For most of its history, Prince Edward County was not a tourist destination. It was a walking landscape that was built around canning factories, fruit orchards, and agriculture. Today it's home to wineries, boutique hotels, farm-to-table restaurants, drawing visitors from Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, the United States, and some other international travelers as well. As someone that lives and spends a lot of time in downtown Toronto, a very relaxing experience for me is spending time in any place with no high-rise condo buildings, no traffic, and no noise. It's one reason why South Spring Island in British Columbia is one of my favorite places in Canada to visit, and I try to make an annual pilgrimage there. But this time around, I decided to visit somewhere not too far away from Toronto. One of the reviews I read about this place described it as the Hamptons of Canada. Now, I have not yet been to the Hamptons in New York, so I cannot confirm nor deny their assertion. I decided to spend the weekend here in Prince Edward County to see for myself. Prince Edward County, or the county as it's fondly called, is about 2 hours east of Toronto. The county itself is made up of 3 main towns: Wellington, Bloomfield, and Picton. Picton is the administrative center of the county and has the most urban feel with lots of restaurants, shops, and services. Bloomfield is perhaps the best illustration of how the county actually reinvented itself. Many of the old buildings that once served an agricultural economy now house galleries, studios, cafes, and independent businesses. Wellington has more of a very relaxed village atmosphere, and it's probably the part that resembles what most people picture when they hear Hamptons of Canada. In the 1800s, Bloomfield was a hot spot for growing barley, which were in much demand for the US brewing industry. When the demand for barley fell, farmers turned to growing vegetables, primarily peas and tomatoes, as well as fruits like apples, strawberries, pumpkins, and the likes, which were also canned in the area, resulting in the boom of the canning industry in the county. Picton and the surrounding areas became home to a significant food processing and canning economy that employed a large portion of the local population. In 1902, the county was producing 1/3 of Canada's canned fruits and vegetables. When that industry declined with the introduction of conglomerates, owners, and sophisticated farm equipment, the county was left with depressed land prices, underused heritage buildings, and a shrinking economic base. Then for years, the county remained relatively quiet. Not too long after, artists, craftspeople, and entrepreneurs started moving here. They were attracted by the inexpensive property, historic buildings, and a slower pace of life. So long before Prince Edward County became known for wineries and boutique hotels, it was becoming a creative community. The rise of wineries and cideries in Prince Edward County began in the mid-1990s, and then exploded into a booming tourism industry during the 2000s after pioneers recognized the region's unique limestone-rich soil. In 2000, Wapples Estate opened as the first winery in the county. In 2003, the Grape Growers of Ontario designated the county as an official wine-growing region. In 2007, the region was officially named a designated viticultural area. But for years after that, the county remained largely under the radar and was mainly visited by cottagers or those that had connections to the area, those with family there. Over the past decade, Prince Edward County has evolved from a largely regional destination into one of Ontario's most sought-after weekend getaways. With the wineries, the artists, the restaurants, the natural attractions like the Sandbanks Provincial Park, they began creating something larger than one industry, and a tourism economy started to emerge around these experiences. The county now has a thriving restaurant scene, which is largely as a result of its history. It has often been called the gastronomic capital of Ontario. And driving between the major towns, you would pass by a number of working firms. At a time when many people are craving for food without chemicals or additives, that farm-to-table experience here has been a major draw. Wineries and cideries have been among the most important drivers of the county's growing popularity. Today, more than 40 wineries operate across the county. The creative and artisan economy in the county also largely predates the tourist waves. Artists and creatives came to the county in the years before peak tourism. They were mostly drawn by the affordable space, the quietness, and the landscape of the area. Walking along the main streets in Picton, in Wellington, or in Bloomfield, yes, all three towns have a main street, you would find endless options of independently owned galleries, antique and vintage stores. What makes Prince Edward County interesting is that it didn't reinvent itself around a single industry. It built what economists sometimes call a creative economy. The agriculture was still there, then the artists arrived, the wineries followed, the restaurants, the hotels, the tourism businesses, they all grew around all of this. The county has a genuine agricultural and artistic identity that predates the tourism wave, and is still able to maintain that even with its increasing popularity. But when a place starts to get a lot of tourist attraction, it's common to see the locals fight back, because the very reasons that made a place worth visiting start to get eroded. Prince Edward County has been able to transform itself without completely abandoning what made it distinctive in the first place. Makes me curious what the story of the county would be in the next 5 or 10 years' time. With the increasing wave of tourism in the area, what would become of the agricultural roots, the creative economy, and the physical landscape?